भीष्म पितामह के बोले कि आपके भाइयों के साथ हम विवाह नहीं कर सकते, यदि हमें विवाह करना है तो आप ही करो, चाहिए बस, क्यों आप जीत करके लाए। उस समय राजाओं के ऐसे ही प्रथा था, नियम था।
So now Gurudev is revising the last topics about Giriraj Govardhan and the kinds of disciples of Guru Das. So he's sorry because I came late. I was trying to come early, but some issue in connection, but now I could come. So he's talking about Bhishma Pitamaha. So Amba, she was complaining because, you know, Bhishma Pitamaha, he kidnapped her but didn't want to marry her because he had brought her to marry his brother, you know.
क्योंकि भीष्म पितामह तो महाप्रचंड और बलवान थे, उनके साथ लड़े वाले कौन है? जो बलवान व्यक्ति होते हैं, उनकी
So that person who is so powerful, who can, you know, defy him? So like easily Bhishma Pitamaha brought Amba, Ambalika and Ambika, you know, this story. But then Amba came to complain to, she came complain about Bhishma with the guru of Bhishma, Parashuram. Then he asked her, why are you crying? And then she told him, Amba told the Parashuram, when Devavrata brought me, you know, he brought me to marry to another person. But actually, he kidnapped me, so he has to marry me. So you tell your disciple that he should marry me. Then Parashuram, he called his own disciple and told, you kidnapped her. Why are you not going to marry her? Even the guru told, you won her, like you took her by force and brought her, so you must marry her. But Devavrata said, I brought her to marry my brother. But Parashuram told, no, but you kidnapped her, you must marry. And then Devavrata, Bhishma told, don't give me this kind of instruction, because I already gave my word to my father that in this life I'll never marry, and also I'll not become the king ever. So in the Mahabharata, this katha is there. Bhishma Pitamaha, he was so religious when he was like 16 years old. His mother Ganga Devi had already left because of all those incidents, everything that happened. The stories are very beautiful. Santanu walking here and there. One day he was like hunting in the banks of the Ganges. Then he saw a beautiful form coming from inside the river, Shantanu. By seeing this form, Shantanu Maharaj, he was completely like fascinated. And then he told to this Devi, marry me. And this Devi told, tomorrow I give you the answer if I'll marry you or not. Shantanu Maharaj came back. Then he was sleeping in the night time, but he could only remember that Devi. And he was thinking, oh, tomorrow she'll tell me. She'll tell me if she'll give me the answer. And the next day, early in the morning, Santanu Maharaj He came there. Then Ganga Devi manifested a beautiful form and came there and told, okay, if you really want to marry me, so do one thing. Whatever I do, I will do. You should not tell anything in objection. Like you should not object. I must be independent always. Independent. Like I can do whatever I want. But Santanu Maharaj, he was so like you know, under the illusion or the spell of lust. Then also she said, if I ask anything, if you ask me anything, I don't need to answer. So he accepted these conditions. And she told, if you don't follow this, I will leave you and I'll go. But Shantanu also accepted that. And then Shantanu Maharaj, he married Ganga. And after the wedding, something amazing, like impressive happened. You know, Ganga Devi gave birth to 6 sons, like 6 babies. And for her own hands, she drowned or offered these babies in the river, Ganges River. When the 7th son came, it was Devavrata Bhishma Pitamaha. When she was walking with him to take him to the Ganges, Shantanu Maharaj came following her from behind and asked her, what are you doing? You in front of me, you murdered 6 sons, my 6 sons. So what are you going to do with this next son? What are you going to do with him? And then in this moment, Ganga Devi said, I cannot stay with you any longer then. You take care of this son. And she told this, and Ganga Devi, she disappeared again. So Shantanu Maharaj took care of him. So when he was 16 years old, this boy, who? Bhishma Pitamaha. What happened? Shantanu Maharaj, he was, by some reason, he was also there in the jungle, like in the forest, and he saw a beautiful lady. He saw one lady called Matsaganda. Matsaganda, she was born. So Satyavati was her name. Shantanu Maharaj, seeing her, he became also like fascinated, like attracted so much. And he came, Shantanu Maharaj came to talk to her father and told to him, I want to marry your daughter. Shantanu said, okay, whatever my daughter wants, okay. And then Shantanu Maharaj told to Satyavati, marry me. Then she said, but you have already a son, Bhishma. So what I want is that the son, any son you have that comes from my womb, he should be the king. Then if you accept this condition, I accept the condition to marry you. I'll accept marrying you. But Shantanu Maharaj, he was very unhappy due to this. And his son, Devavrata Bhishma Pitamaha, the son of Ganga, no? He saw, oh, my father is not speaking anything. He's worried about something. Devavrata noticed. He noticed what is going on with his father. Then Bhishma Pitamaha sent some like spies to see what was going on with his father. And like this, Bhishma Pitamaha, he discovered that Shantanu Maharaj, he was meeting Satyavati and he wanted to marry her. And Satyavati, she had made the vow. She said, whatever son takes birth from my womb, he must sit on the throne, like he must be the king. Your oldest son, telling to Shantanu, meaning the son of Ganga, Bhishma should not, Devavrata should not sit in the throne, on the throne, like should not be the king.
भीष्म पितामह
So like this, Bhishma
करुण के
Pitamaha,
साथ ये सारे पता लगाया पिताजी के मन के बारे में।
so Devavrata Bhishma, like this, he got to know what was going on in his father's mind.
देखो भारी सभा में
And then in a great assembly,
जहाँ पर सभी सभासद बैठे हुए थे,
where everybody was sitting
पिताजी के रक्षक ने कहने लगे, पिताजी
to protect his father, he told, "Oh, my father,
आप वो सत्यवती के साथ विवाह भी करना चाहते
you should marry Satyavati.
हैं, आप
Okay,
विवाह कीजिए।
marry her.
मैं आपके वचन देता
I
हूँ
give you my word
मैं कभी
that I will never
राज सिंहासन में मैं नहीं बैठूंगा
sit on the throne.
और कभी मैं राजा भी नहीं बनूंगा।
I'll never become king also."
तीसरी
Another vow, third vow, I made
विवाह तक भी नहीं
that I'll not even marry.
है, जब तक मैं जीवित रहूंगा आकुमार ब्रह्मचारी के रूप में
As far as I'm the king, I'll be Akumar Brahmachari.
ऐसे करने के बाद सारी आकाश में
I'll be like celibatory.
के भांति
So hearing this, the skies, they started like thunders and there's lightning, all these sounds coming. And the demigods, they were so impressed, because this is such a hard vow, very difficult vow to make.
ऐसे हैं, संकल्प किया।
So he did this very difficult vow.
देवता लोग भी आश्चर्य हो गए।
And even the gods, demigods, they were amazed to see this vow. Because Bhishma, he did this vow. Devavrata, his name was at that time.
मैं कभी
The vow. Which vow?
विवाह
Promise. First, I'll never marry.
तीसरी राज सिंहासन में मैं नहीं बैठूंगा।
Then, I'll also never sit on the throne. And
तीसरी क्या है?
third,
मैं ब्रह्मचारी रूप में रहूंगा। और जो
I will
इस
be
सिंहासन में
brahmachari.
बैठेगा,
And those who sit on this throne of king,
पिता के
I will
प्रतिरूप
see
मान
them
करके
just like the representative of my own father.
आसन क्या क्या बोला बताओ।
So, can you repeat what are the vows that?
पितामह ने क्या प्रतिज्ञा की?
What were the vows that Bhishma Pitamaha did?
हाँ? क्या? ब्रह्मचर्य जीवन पालन।
Okay, follow the life of being a brahmachari, not marrying.
जो राज सिंहासन में नहीं बैठूंगा।
That who will not sit on the throne. Second, and third, whoever sits on the throne, he will see just like a representative of his own father.
Representative of my father. हैं? ऐसे पिताजी के प्रतिरूप मान करके
So he will see it as like a representative of his own father, and he will protect that throne.
राज्य का रक्षा करेगा। समझ ना?
Understand?
ऐसे कठोर
So he did this very like a hard vow,
नाम ही रख दिया
like very hard promise, isn't it?
भीष्म।
That's why his name became Bhishma.
ऐसे
Bhishma.
कठोर
Bhishma means like very hard, very strict, very difficult vows to keep,
में क्या होगा नहीं वो विचार नहीं
What will happen in the future or not, he's not thinking. He just took this vow.
प्रतिज्ञा करी।
He made this promise,
इसके पश्चात शांतनु महाराज
And then after
ने
that, Shantanu Maharaj, his father,
सत्यवती के साथ
then he married Satyavati,
है, और उनके दो पुत्र हुए
and they had two sons. One,
विचित्र
Vichitra Virja, and another,
चित्रांगदा
Chitrangada.
इतिहास
The history of Mahabharata explaining all this.
है। अभी आइए
So,
सत्यवती के दो पुत्र
so Satyavati, she had two sons,
विचित्र वीर्य और
Vichitra Virja and Chitrangada.
ये दोनों भाई जब बड़े हुए
When these two brothers they got older, these two brothers they grew up. Then Bhishma Pitamaha he
के लिए है, तो लड़कियों की खोजने लगे। ये हमारी
was searching
के साथ
ladies
ऐसे सुंदर
like wives,
भाइयों
no?
के साथ विवाह
To marry to his brother. Like, oh, my brother must marry a nice wife.
करते
So he was
काशी नरेश में काशी
searching, and then Bhishma he came to
के नरेश
to the kingdom of Kashi,
तीन सुंदरी का नाम
and this king he had three daughters. What are their names?
अंबिका और
Amba, Ambika, and Ambalika. Names of the daughters of
इसमें
Kashi
राजाओं की
king of Kashi.
नियम था,
And in Kashi, they had some rule, generally.
बड़े बड़े राजपुत्र बड़े बड़े राजा लोग आते थे,
Many
राजसभा
great
में,
kings, they used to come to the assembly,
जो अपने शौर्य वीर
and
पराक्रम
these
दिखा
kings, they
करके
would show their power, like their strength, and then
रन कर सकते
they
हैं,
could like kidnap
उसी के
the
साथ
girl,
ही विवाह होता है। ऐसी उसमें प्रथा
the
था।
lady, and also then they
तो
could
भीष्म
marry.
पितामह
Means like if this very
किसी
powerful
विशाल सभा में गए,
warrior comes
किसी
to the
राजा की
assembly and
सभा
like
में गए,
kidnaps the lady, showing his strength, then he must marry this lady.
वर माल्य लेकर
So
के
actually,
खरीदे थे।
Bhishma, he came to the
भीष्म
assembly,
पितामह
and these
कृष्ण
three
तेज
girls,
वीर
they were
वीर्य
holding the garlands of like for
धनुष लेकर
giving
के
to a
जब
bridegroom, to marry.
उस सभा में प्रकाश हुए,
So he appears there, Bhishma appears, and he was so powerful, so strong.
भयभीत हो गए।
It's like so much
क्योंकि
he's
भीष्म
so
पितामह
strong,
के पास एक वर था, उनके पिताजी
and
ने वर दे
everybody
दिया
was afraid of him. Actually, he had one
था,
benediction
इच्छा में वरण
because his father, he gave him a benediction that he would have Icham Mrityu. Icham Mrityu means he could,
कोई मार नहीं सकता।
nobody could kill him. He could only die when he wanted. So this is called Icham Mrityu Vardhan. So if somebody has this kind of benediction, who can defeat this person, isn't it? Who can defeat her?
इसलिए काशी नरस में जब भीष्म
So
पितामह प्रवेश किया,
so when Bhishma
उनको
Pitamaha
देख
came
करके
to the
बड़े बड़े
kingdom of
राजा लोग
Kashi,
सब थर-थर करके
all the
कांपे,
kings, they were trembling with fear, they were
और
fearful of
भीष्म
him.
पितामह उस समय
And
जवान था,
actually he was very young at that moment,
18
Bhishma
20 साल
Pitamaha.
की, 22 साल की,
Maybe he was 18, 20, or 22 years old at that time. And
काशी नरेश के 3 कन्याओं को जो है भेड़ बकरी के भांति एकत्रित कर लिया।
so he
चलो
just
मेरे साथ,
gathered those 3 ladies just
और
like
उन्होंने
some
चैलेंज किया,
possession, and he said, come with me. And he
यदि
made
इस
a
सभा में कोई
challenge.
वीर है
He said, if there's
तो मेरे
anyone
साथ युद्ध
powerful,
करे।
strength, strong in this assembly, fight with me now and like stop me. So he challenged all of them like this.
कोई
So
वीर हो,
if
आए,
there's any strong
हमारे
person
साथ युद्ध
here,
करे।
any like
मेरे
real
साथ
warrior, any like how to
और
say
ये 3
this,
कन्या को हमारे चंगुल से लेकर के जाए।
if there's really a man here, like somebody really like
भाई भीष्म
brave like
पितामह
this,
के
so stop me
प्रभावशाली
now,
बलवान थे,
you know.
है। किंतु भीष्म पितामह के पास सभी राजा लोग
But in front of Bhishma Pitamaha, everybody just looked down. All the kings, they faced down,
और
like they
भीष्म
looked down.
पितामह देखते देखते ही
Looked down. They looked
ये
down
तीनों कन्याओं
because
को जो है
Bhishma was so powerful.
अम्बा,
So
अंबिका
just in front of
और
everyone's eyes, Bhishma
और
Pitamaha, he took these three
ये तीनों लड़कियों के
like ladies, this Amba, Ambika, and Ambalika, brought them to Hastinapur, bringing them to Hastinapur.
और फिर
And then
दोनों लड़की के साथ अर्थात कौन कौन ना हाँ अम्बा और अंबिका,
Amba and Ambika,
अम्बालिका और
Ambalika
अंबिका,
and Ambika,
हैं? ये दोनों तो निर्विचार से
both of them,
विवाह
without
कर
even thinking, they agreed to marry.
किसके साथ?
To whom?
विचित्रवीर्य और चित्रांगद,
To Vichitravira and Chitrangad.
हैं? किंतु
But
इन्होंने कहा,
he told,
अम्बा ने कहा,
Amba said,
ये मैं किसी राजकुमार के साथ मैं प्रेम करती हूँ,
Amba said, I already love some prince.
अपने शौर्य वीर जो
Because
आदर
when you
करके
came to show all your power in that
आप
assembly,
लाए,
and
आप
you
ही
brought
विवाह
me,
कीजिए,
so actually you should marry me.
मैं दूसरे के राजा के साथ विवाह नहीं करती।
I cannot marry any other
भीष्म पितामह ने कहा,
king.
ये देखो
Bhishma
मैं
said,
तो व्रत ले चुका हूँ,
but I already did a vow that I'll not marry anyone.
मैं तो केवल आप लोग के जिद करके लाया था अपने भाइयों के लिए,
Actually, I won you and I brought you to my brother.
किंतु अम्बा ने क्या कहा,
But Amba said,
जब आप ही हमें जिद करके लाए हैं, आपको ही विवाह करना पड़ेगा।
but you won me and brought me over here, so you must marry me.
तब उन्होंने क्या की,
Then what did he do?
भीष्म पितामह के ये गुरु
the guru of Bhishma Pitamaha,
है परशुराम,
Parashuram, right? Which is a Shaktavish avatar of Lord.
उनको जाकर के सारी बात सुनाई कि देखो आपके शिष्य
So Amba went to him and told everything. She told to Parashuram, your disciple
हमें
Bhishma,
जीत करके लाए
Dev,
हैं,
he won me and brought me over, but he doesn't want to marry me now.
उनके उनके रोना देख करके
Sing her states like she was crying. Amba was
परशुराम ने
crying.
कहा
Then Parashuram
हे
said,
भीष्मा,
Bhishma,
तुम जब हरण करके लाए हैं तो उसको विवाह करना पड़ेगा।
you brought her, so you must marry her.
तो कहने गुरुदेव मैं पहली तो पिताजी के बात पर रखने के लिए मैंने तो प्रतिज्ञा कर ली, मैं जीवन में कभी
He said, Gurudev, but I already promised that I will not marry.
परशुराम ने बहुत क्रोधित होकर के
Then
कहने लगे,
Parashuram was very angry and he said,
जिसमें विवाह करना नहीं है तो क्यों जिद करके लाया?
if you weren't going to marry her, why did you bring her here? You know, the ladies, they are not buffaloes, cows, birds, like objects.
केवल बस
Because those who have cow, they just like give and take the cows like this, like a property.
शादी करना पड़ेगा, तुम
You have to marry her
हरण करके लाए,
because you brought her, you kidnapped her,
शादी करो।
so you must marry her. His guru told him.
पितामह बोले गुरुदेव
Bhishma Pitamaha told Gurudev, I'll not.
शादी नहीं करना नहीं चाहते हो,
Sorry, I don't want to marry. I'll not marry. And then Bhishma said, okay, fight with me then. Fight me.
तब उसमें विष्णु पितामह बोले कम से रास्ता
Sorry,
मिल ही जाए।
Parashuram told, no, fight me. Then Bhishma Pitamaha said, oh, there must be any way. But then he thought, oh, but if I die in the hands of a guru, it's okay. It's good. And in his mind, he thought, I cannot defeat my own guru. Because Parashuram is directly the Bhagavat avatar. Who can defeat Parashuram, isn't it? He's incarnation of Lord. But still, Bhishma Pitamaha told Gurudev, okay,
अब मैं आपसे युद्ध करना चाहता हूँ,
I want to fight with you.
आओ मैदान में आओ।
Come, let's go to a field.
देखो भीष्म पितामह
So Bhishma Pitamaha and
उनके गुरु
with his guru Parshuram,
मैदान में चले,
they went to some
घना
fields
घोर युद्ध होने लगे।
and they had a fierce fight,
कम नहीं है,
fierce battle.
भीष्म पितामह
Actually, Bhishma is nothing less also
परशुराम
than Parashuram.
इतने
He's
घना
nothing
घोर
less.
युद्ध होने लगे
So
कि हामी
the duel was so fierce, you know.
नहीं समकक्ष है।
They're like in the same level
इतने समय वहीं पर ब्रह्मा
in the fight. And then Brahmaji appeared.
और ब्रह्मा जी प्रकट होकर के दोनों को समझाया।
And Brahmaji appears and made both of them understand. And Brahmaji told, it's not proper to fight. You shouldn't do this. So
इसके पश्चात परशुराम चले गए।
after that, Parashuram left. And then Amba was alone. Amba was alone. So even her guru could not help her, like Parashuram.
विचार कर रहे हैं, तो क्या करें?
So what to do?
इसके पश्चात
Then after that, she said, okay, yeah.
मैं ये शरीर को छोड़ता हूँ,
So I'll give up my body and
अगले जन्म
my
में
body,
कारण से ही
and in the next life,
मृत्यु की
I'll be the cause of your death.
इसलिए आगे की महाभारत की कथा
So later in the story of Mahabharata, now we see that this
अम्बा जो है
Amba,
क्या हो गया जन्म लिया,
she took birth as
शिखंडी होकर जन्म
Shikhandi.
है। भीष्म पितामह के साथ जब युद्ध होने लगे अर्जुन के साथ,
So when Bhishma was fighting with Arjun, this Shikhandi,
हिजड़ा कहता है,
he was like
पुरुष
actually he's not a man, not a woman.
रथ के सामने
He's just like androgynous or something like that.
भीष्म पितामह ने
So this he came in front of the chariot of Bhishma Pitamaha,
उन्होंने क्या कर
And then Bhishma Pitamaha,
बाण को त्याग दिया।
he stopped shooting arrows at this moment.
अर्जुन ने उनको
And then
बाण चलाया,
Arjun shot arrows and made Bhishma Pitamaha fall on the ground.
सर के इस जा के ऊपर वो
And then Arjun put Bhishma to stay like on the bed of arrows.
तो यहाँ पर भी इसी कथा को कहा
So here is saying this katha.
यद्यपि इसमें कोई पारमार्थिकता नहीं है।
Actually, there is no any spirituality in this.
पारमार्थ कुछ है?
Is there any spirituality in that?
से भक्ति हो जाएगी,
Do you think
नहीं करने से
to marry, if you marry, you get bhakti, or if you don't marry, you'll not get bhakti? This is not written anywhere.
ब्रह्मचर्य पालन करने
This is
से
not
भक्ति
any
होगी?
spirituality. Or only by following brahmachari, bhakti will come, or only by following sannyas, bhakti will come. How does bhakti come? Like, where does bhakti come from? From bhajan.
ब्रह्मचारी और गृहस्थ के द्वारा भगवान में भक्ति नहीं होती है।
You cannot get bhakti just by being brahmachari or grihastha. Bhakti comes by doing bhajan.
भक्त इंसार कृष्ण भजनेर नहीं जाती पुरादि विचार है। जो भजन करता है वो श्रेष्ठ है।
That person who does bhajan, he's highest. Maybe he a woman or a man, maybe he a grihastha, brahmachari, a sannyasi or vanaprasti. Doesn't matter. Depends on the bhajan. Bhajan that person do. So
कोई पारमार्थिकता नहीं है।
in this example, there's no any spiritual in these things.
प्रतिज्ञा को रक्षा करना,
Like just like Bhishma was like fixed in following his vows, that his promises that he made to his father.
मिल गया,
So in return to making this vow, he got this Ichamratu Vardhan, means he had this boon. He would only die when he wanted. Nobody could kill him.
इसलिए विष्णु पितामह के पास यही वर था,
So he had this kind of a blessing.
ये वर था।
Ichamratu, but he had the boon of only dying when he wanted.
किंतु इसमें कोई पारमार्थिक गुरुदेव यहाँ पर लिख
But
रहा
also
है,
Gurudeva wrote here that
ये देखो
there's no any spirituality in that.
देवव्रत के विवाह तो नहीं किया,
Devavrata didn't
उनके
marry,
द्वारा
but
गुरु का अपमान हुआ, अपमान तो हुआ, इसमें कोई पारमार्थिक कारण नहीं था। इसलिए
that
ऐसे शिष्य को ऐसे
he
शिष्य
like
को
dishonored his guru
जैसे लोगों को
and for something which was not even spiritual.
राजसिक
So this kind of
शिष्य कहा जाता है।
disciple is called Rajasik Shishya, a disciple in the mode of passion.
अच्छा है कि नहीं आप बताओ?
Isn't it or not?
अंधे के यदि सिंहासन पर बैठा दिया जाए,
So if you put some blind person sitting on the throne,
वो जैसी इच्छा कहे ऐसे चले,
and then everything happens according to the desire of this blind man, the throne, the kingdom will not function properly. But one of the promise that Bhishma made was exactly that whoever sits on the throne after my father, whoever, doesn't matter, I'll see this person just like as if he was my father, and I'll protect him and the throne as like if it was my father. But what is like a spiritual in this? You know, the fruit of this is what happened.
पहले पांडु को बैठाया गया,
Okay, first Pandu sat on the throne,
छोड़ने के बाद
but after Pandu left his body,
कामों के बैठा अंधा राजा को,
so then Bhishma had to put the blind king to sit. But how can a blind person rule the kingdom? First, he cannot see,
स्नेह में भी
and second, Dhritarashtra was blind due to the affection he had for his own son.
धृतराष्ट्र जो है
Dhritarashtra, he
अपने पुत्र स्नेह में अंध है,
was blind for the love he had for his son,
दुष्ट दुराचार जो पुत्र
and his son was a very bad person.
पुत्र हो उसके स्नेह में अंध होना तो बहुत
If there was a good son and you were blind with affection for a good son,
पापी महा
then this good thing, this completely other things is good. But Duryodhan, completely bad, cruel, sinful, offensive, like evil. He was very bad son, Duryodhan. So Dhritarashtra,
अंधति है ही है।
so he had attachment for this kind of son. So he was blind 2 times, like for being like physically blind.
काटगड़ी को देखता रहता है, और भीष्म पितामह कह रहे हैं
You know, like a blind person is always they look like they are looking up, just like somebody looking at the clock,
परमार्थ है,
because the person
अपने
doesn't see, cannot see, right? So, okay, so Bhishma, there's no any spiritual in what he did. He just was fixed in following his vows. So all these vows he made was like they were actually useless, isn't it? Okay, you made the vow that now Purushottam month is happening, and I'll eat only one time per day in the Purushottam month. Do you think that by eating one time a day you'll be able to get bhakti? First, tell me this. And some people think, oh, I'll stay the Purushottam month only eating fruits. Many people do this. They take only fruits or like roots, but so many monkeys also they eat only fruits. Like maybe say your life being a brahmachari. Do you think you'll get bhakti only for doing that? How many people they don't get married also? Married. And do you think they have bhakti just because they didn't get married? So Tulsidas wrote, or Miraji, how many monkeys and if I'd be able to get to Lord only by eating fruits, you know, so many monks already they eat only fruits. And like, what is a koja? Some person like a single person who doesn't associate with ladies, like koja means somebody who doesn't get married, who like this. So means only by being brahmachari, like single or not married, it means you attain to God? No. So many people they already do that in their lives and they don't have bhakti. So actually to get bhakti you have to have prem. So, not only by drinking only fruits. You cannot get bhakti only by eating fruits. Or also just for not marrying also. How many people they don't get married? And they're in this material world. So you have to see the bhakti. So exactly this situation applies to Bhishma Pitamaha. He vowed that he was not going to get married. And also he told that he'll never like sit on the throne. And third, whoever sits on this throne, I'll see this person, I'll protect this person as if this person was my father himself. So you can say, but Bhishma Pitamaha was so clever, like so intelligent. Why did he stay on the side of Duryodhan? This question might come, isn't it? Because no, Bhishma is one of the 12 Mahajanas. So he was a very intelligent person. So why was he in the side of Duryodhan? So this is the reason. Actually, there's not any spirituality in this. Only some lokik sambandha. Because he made a vow. He said, whoever sits on this throne, he might be blind or anything, I will be on his side. And I'll protect this throne. If this person is evil or bad, no problem. Still, I will help this person. Some people in this world, they are like this. In Chaitanya Shikshastakam book, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he explains about this. Some people, they are nitivad, like moralists. So they are atheistic moralists or theistic, in this case, is atheistic moralists. Means, actually, this is not applied for Bhishma Pitamaha, but according to the Leelas we see, as if it was like this. Like the person has morals, like he follows rules, but... So you see, the Tarashta was blind, but he was also evil. sorry, Dhritarashtra was like accepting the evil,
परमार्थ तो कुछ नहीं है
the conceptions of his evil son.
द्रौपदी के
You
जैसे
see, in this
लोग
great assembly, Draupadi was, they tried to disrobe, to take out
शब्द नहीं बोले
Draupadi's clothes, and Bhishma Pitamaha, he didn't say a word against it.
और धृतराष्ट्र भी बैठे हुए थे
Dhritarashtra was also sitting there, he was the
अंधा
king.
तो था वो
He was blind, yes.
तो धृतराष्ट्र तो अंधे थे वो तो देख नहीं पाया
Okay, he cannot see, he's blind,
सुन रहे हैं
but he was listening.
जो तथापि धृतराष्ट्र
Still, Dhritarashtra,
एक भी शब्द नहीं बोले
he didn't say a word. He didn't say, Duryodhana, what are you doing, Duryodhan?
और भीष्म पिता
Not even a word.
सिर के नीचे करके
Bhishma Pitamaha, he was just sitting down and facing down, like sitting and facing down.
में राजा जो बैठे हुए जो राजा जो करते उसी की तो अमल करना है
Because the king should have done something.
हैं? राजा के हाँ में हाँ राजा के
And like for Bhishma, he, like the yes of the king is my yes, the no of the king is my no. Like he was like completely agreeing.
परमार्थ है कुछ
Is there any spirituality in these things?
यही तो दिखाती है
So this we see.
फलस्वरूप
And as a fruit of that, the great Mahabharata war happened. And how many thousands,
सब
billions of people, they were killed.
उनसे लूलान होकर
Sorry, like a river of blood. A river of blood flowed.
कितने
So many people, so many ladies, they became widowers.
हाहाकार मच हैं हाँ सर।
Understand?
इसलिए तो भगवान कृष्ण कह रहे हैं महाभारत के
So that's why Krishna says in the Mahabharata war,
ऐसे हैं, पितामह के जिसके गोद में मैंने है खेलकूद किया पालन
So
किया,
Ar-
पितामह भीष्म पितामह के कैसे मैं
so Arjuna was saying, how can I shoot an arrow against somebody who is once I was playing on his lap when I was a kid?
दीक्षा नहीं कौन सा
And then also Arjuna said, how can I, my guru of weaponry, like warfare guru, not guru of spirituality, but like Dronacharya was the guru of warfare, like weapons and these things of Arjun. So Arjuna was thinking, how can I kill
ये है गंडी है
these my like gurus, like superiors, and
के दैव शक्ति
I have so many kinds of Deva Shakti, like goddess, like divine weapons, and I have my Gandiv, my bow, special bow. I can defeat everyone very quickly. Hey Govinda, Arjuna was saying, sorry, hey Govinda, be merciful. What can I do?
विचलित हो रहे
Now my mind is so disturbed.
गुरु न हत्वा सजन माधवी ऐसे गुरुवर्ग को मैं कैसे हत्या करूं
How can I kill this kind of Guru Varga? Then Bhagavan Krishna, what did he do?
दे दिया आत्मा अनात्मा बुद्धि
He gave all the teachings to Arjuna about Atma and what is not the Atma, what is the body.
ये सारे ज्ञान उनको दिया
So he gave all this all knowledge to him. Krishna gave all knowledge to Arjun. But still, Arjuna was thinking, how can I shoot an arrow against them?
उस समय भगवान कृष्ण
Then at this moment, Bhagavan Krishna, he
और भी उत्साह देने लगे हे अर्जुन
gave even more enthusiasm to Arjun. And Krishna told Arjun,
युद्ध नहीं करोगे
now you're thinking that you should not fight,
ये केवल बात भिक्षा वृत्ति करके जीवन के
that should only maintain your life like begging alms,
नकांके विजन कृष्ण
asking for donation.
न च राज्यनी नकांके विजन कृष्ण न च राज्यनी सुखानी च उस समय भगवान कृष्ण कहने लगे अर्जुन तुम्हें किसने कहा दिया तुम्हारी
Then
विजय प्राप्त होगा
Bhagavan Krishna told to Arjun, who told you that you're gonna win? You may lose.
कैसे है
Maybe you can lose this war. You can be defeated because a war is just like a game.
हैं? किसके जय होगा किसके पराजय
Who will win? Who will
होगा,
lose?
कैसे निर्धारण कर
How can you define that
ये कहते हैं नकांके
previously?
विजन कृष्ण न च राज्यन सुखानी च मुझे ये राज्य भोग भी नहीं चाहिए सुख
So he said, I don't even want these pleasures of being the king, of being like king and like this.
रहे हो
Then Krishna said, Arjun, you're thinking that you're gonna win, but it's not so easy to win.
जानते हो
You don't know.
क्या भीष्म पितामह के तुम गिरा सकते हो
Can you defeat Bhishma Pitamaha?
वो तो 10 दिन के लिए अभी वो सेनापति के पद प्राप्त किया प्रधान सेनापति
Now he's the
क्या तुम उनको गिरा सकते हो
general in chief, and he was for 10 days of the war. Then Krishna asked Arjun, do you have any kind of arrow that you can use against Bhishma Pitamaha?
एक ही बार है क्या इच्छा
No, because he has actually one boon that he will only die when he wanted, when he wants. So he cannot die from your weapons, like wounded by your arrows. And also Krishna told to Arjun,
क्या तुमको द्रोणाचार्य को तुम हरा सकते हो? गुरु के कौन हरा सकते हैं?
like, can anyone defeat their own guru? Like, so how you fight Dronacharya?
तीसरी है, देखो
And also,
कौन कौन सेना है
who are the armies in the other side?
देखो अच्छे बड़ी वहां भी देखो
So see very nicely, like see see carefully who is in the other side. Don't have all this pride just because of your Gandhiv.
अस्त्र के द्वारा भी नहीं
Krishna
होगा
said, not even by your divine weapons, you cannot get that, like this
द्रोणाचार्य के पुत्र अश्वत्थामा
victory. You know, because the son of Dronacharya Sotama, he had also only one blessing. Which one? That he will continue alive for 4 yugas. Actually, until nowadays, he's still alive.
अश्वत्थामा अभी तक जीवित है। और ये कलयुग समाप्त होने के बाद
Ashwatthama is still alive, and after Kali Yuga ends, is over,
व्यास बनेगा
the next Vyasa, it will be
ऐसे भी शास्त्र में वर्णन है
it will be Ashwatthama. The Shastra explains, like Bhavishad Puran explain all this.
द्वारा नहीं
It's not something.
बनेगा कौन विष्णु कौन व्यास बनेगा
Actually, everything this is already predetermined. Who will be? There's a list already of who will become who later and who will be who. So it's not something we decide. So can you defeat them? Like Krishna was asking Arjun.
और देखो
Duryodhana and Dushasana. Even Karna also is also in the opposite side.
क्या कर्ण को तुम हरा सकते हो
Can you defeat Karna?
उसके पास कुंडल और
Because he has the kundal,
कवच है
like the earrings, the kavach, the armor. So
वापिस आ जाए
your arrows will return if you try to
हरा नहीं सकते हो
hit him with your arrows. You cannot defeat the Karna.
जो बल पर तुम सोच रहे हो
You think you're going to be so powerful.
बल के ऊपर सोच
You think you have your Deva Bal, your power of demigods.
आप बताओ
But tell me, Krishna told.
तब उस समय
Then at that moment, Arjuna said, Hey Govinda,
समझ में नहीं आ रहे हैं
I'm not understanding.
क्या करना है क्या नहीं करना
What should I do or what I should not do? So tell me now.
आपके चरण में
I surrender to your lotus feet.
आप जैसे मार्गदर्शन कराओगे
Whichever way you show me and tell me to follow, I will just
तब
follow that.
भगवान को ही करें
Then Bhagavan said, Hey Arjun,
मन परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वं सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षामि मा शुचि है मेरी शरण में तू आ जा
come to my
मैं
shelter.
तुमको वचन देता हूँ
I give you my word.
समस्त पाप पुण्य से तुमको मैं
I
रक्षा करूँ
will protect you from all pap and punya, or all
केवल मेरे शरण में आ
sins
जाओ
and pites.
कुछ में करना नहीं
You just take shelter of my feet. Don't need to do anything else. This is the meaning
सर्वधर्मान्
of the Gita.
परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वं सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षामि मा इसके पश्चात अर्जुन ने क्या कि
Then after that, Arjun,
भगवान के गोविंद के चरण में संपूर्ण रूप से
he
शरण ले लिया
took shelter completely of the lotus feet of Lord Govinda.
तो भगवान का कहते चलो युद्ध चलाओ मैं जैसे कहूँ ऐसे
Then Bhagavan said, Okay, you fight. Whatever I tell you, you just follow. I will be your charioteer, Sarati.
मैं जिस दिशा पर मैं चलाऊंगा
So whichever way I take your chariot, just and also how to kill each person or how to shoot the arrows, I will give all the instructions. Krishna told to Arjun. I'll not fight, but
सारे निर्देश
I'll give you all the instructions,
डायरेक्टर होता है
just like the director.
वही काम करता है
No, the director is not like
सब कार्य में जो अभिज्ञता है ये एक्सपीरियंस
actually the director. He's experienced in all the knowledges,
काम करना नहीं है
but he doesn't do the activities like the jobs, the tasks. He just is like supervising if everything is going okay or not, if something is wrong.
वो है ना
So the director, no, he's the director.
उसी प्रकार इस
So in the same way,
डायरेक्टर कौन
who is the director of the Mahabharata war?
है
Krishna. He's not fighting, but
सारे निर्देश
he's giving all the instructions for the battlefield.
पितामह को कैसे गिराना है
Like for example, how to defeat Bhishma Pitamaha. Krishna helped.
शिखंडी गिरा करके
About this thing of putting Shikanda.
वही जो अम्बा
So the same Amba,
देखो कहाँ कैसे आ गया
she came as
शिखंडी होकर रूप में
Shikhandi. She took birth as
जिसके हृदय
Shikhandi.
न पुरुष और न
So he was like androgynous,
है,
like not a
उसको
woman,
देख
not a
करके
man,
भीष्म पितामह ने
his
क्या की
gender. And then
बाण को जो है
seeing him, Bhishma Pitamaha, he stopped to shoot his arrows.
अर्जुन ने क्या की
Then Arjun, he
भीष्म पितामह पे जो है रथ से गिराया
was able to make Bhishma Pitamaha fall down from his chariot, and Arjun put him to sleep on the bed of arrows.
ये सब द्रोणाचार्य के भी हराना संभव नहीं है भीम के द्वारा बोले भीम तुम बोलो असत्यमा
So to kill Dronacharya is also very difficult. Then Krishna told to
युधिष्ठिर
be
बोले तुम तो ही तो बोलो
tell that the elephant Ashwatthama was killed. Then Krishna told Yudhishthira Maharaj, you tell this that Ashwatthama is dead.
नरो बा
Then Yudhishthira said,
नरो तो कहा दिया
yeah, Ashwatthama is dead. The human being,
उन्होंने हस्ती यानी इसने भगवान गोविंद ने
not the human being, the elephant. But when he told the human being,
शंख बजाया और द्रोणाचार्य जी के कर्ण में गई
no, I think he told like,
असत्य
anyway, when he told the word, like the elephant, Ashwatthama dies, then Krishna played the conch very loudly. Then Dronacharya heard that his son had died, Ashwatthama. He just heard this information, Ashwatthama died. But then Dronacharya stopped doing anything. He sat down, and Drishtadyumna came, Draupadi's brother, and took out the head, beheaded Dronacharya. So it was not possible to kill Dronacharya or Karna also, if Karna still had his earrings and his
महाभारत में यही
स्वयं
भगवान ने उनके पास दो वर मांग लिया
armor. So God knew this. So God arranged that
कुंडल है
that you know Indra came to him and to ask the earring and his armor from Karna. So it means that Krishna was doing all Kurukshetra war. He was organizing everything. And the other things, they were only like ingredients. But who was actually doing everything was Krishna.
वादान कारण होता है समस्त जो कार्य देखो कैसी प्रतीत होती है दिखा नहीं ये समस्त दिशा महाभारत में ही तो दिखा रहे हैं
So Mahabharata shows this. So the Bhishma Pitamaha Katha is so beautiful. So many instructions about Bhishma Pitamaha. Even when he was laying on the bed of arrows, he gave so many teachings to the Pandavas. And then he was giving these teachings, and Draupadi was in the back and laughing at the situation. Bhishma Pitamaha asked Draupadi, why you're laughing? Then Draupadi said, oh Pitamaha, when I was like these robes, or they tried to make me naked, Dushasana, you didn't tell anything at that time. Did you say anything? You could have said, oh Dushasana, what you're doing. Duryodhana told, take her clothes out, like make her naked, and put her sitting on my thigh. Then Karna told, she's a whore. She's a whore because she's married to 5 men. So Karna insulted Draupadi as like a whore, prostitute, and saying, yeah, you can do that. She's a whore. It's already like common. So at that time, means like, oh yes, like yeah, disrobe her. So if you insult someone, calling her a whore, and trying to take out the clothes of a woman, and speaking these bad words, these insults, at least something you could have said. But nobody helped me. Draupadi was saying, only Govinda helped me at the time. So Draupadi was laughing when Bhishma was telling all these instructions, and she told, now you're giving many nice instructions, right? So why at that time you didn't say anything to Duryodhana and Dushasana? Tell me. Then Bhishma Pitamaha, he was ashamed really, and he told,
द्रौपदी
Hey Draupadi,
बात सत्य है,
this is true.
तुम जैसे
What you're saying is true.
और तुम कोई साधारण स्त्री भी नहीं,
You are not an ordinary
ये
lady.
है कौन?
Who is actually Draupadi?
हैं? इनके भी इतिहास
No, the story
लंबी
about
है।
Draupadi is very big.
हैं? द्रौपदी भी साधारण नहीं,
Draupadi was not ordinary.
पंचाल देश की कन्या, पंचाल भी कहा जाता
She's Panchali. She's the lady of Panchal Naresh,
है। और
this
कहाँ से
kingdom.
उत्पन्न हुई?
And she appeared where?
अग्नि कुंड से।
From the Agni Kunda.
जन्म लेता है,
Does anybody take birth from the fire? But she appears from the fire.
वो और
Like fire sacrifice. She appears, and also
अग्नि
Drishtadyumna
कुंड से
also.
जन्म लिया, आग से जन्म लिया।
She appears from the fire.
द्रौपदी जीवन
Draupadi
इतिहास।
appeared from the fire.
द्रौपदी के साधारण साधारण स्त्री भी नहीं है वो।
So she's not an ordinary lady.
पुराण के अनुसार
According to Brahma Vaivarta
वास्तव
Puran,
में वो कौन थी?
who was actually Draupadi? She was Chaya Sita.
हैं? कोई छाया सीता जो
So
है
this Chaya Sita, she,
अंत में
in the
भगवान
end,
रामचंद्र से वर दे दान दे दिया, जाओ
Bhagavan Ramachandra gave a
तुम
blessing to
जाकर
her.
स्वर्ग में जाकर के स्वर्ग लक्ष्मी के रूप में रहो, हजारों साल तक। हैं?
So for thousands of years, you stay
लक्ष्मी के रूप में
just like Swarga Lakshmi, like the Lakshmi of Swargalok.
फिर आगे आकर के
And then
जो कथा जो है
there's also a long story, many stories. Then she came in the form of the Draupadi.
बहुत लंबी चौड़ी
This katha is very big.
ब्रह्म विवर्त पुराण और राम
In the Brahma Vaivarta Purana and Mahabharata explain all this katha there. These stories are explained there. Explained. So I want to say that Draupadi was not a normal person.
बहुत विदुषी महिला है,
She was such like intelligent, like
सिद्धांत के सब
she knew all the Tata Siddhanta.
वाली
She knew everything.
विदुषी
She was Vidushil Mahila, like learned and scholar lady.
वो हंस रही थी,
So she was like laughing.
हंस नहीं थी, वो रो रही थी। ऊपर से कोई हंसता है,
Actually, somebody maybe
हृदय में
she's laughing outside, like externally, but inside his heart is crying. So Draupadi was also same
सुंदर उपदेश दे रही हो,
in this moment. So she was saying to him, "You gave such beautiful instructions. Now you're giving, but at that time you didn't say anything." Then Draupadi told, sorry, then Bhishma Pitamaha said, "Oh my daughter, it's true. I'll tell you why."
शरीरन्न खाइले मलिनायमान, मलिन मणे कृष्णे नः स्मरण। चेतन चेतामृत में भीष्म पितामह ने कहा,
So
मैं ये दुष्ट दुराचार
Bhishma Pitamaha told,
कौरव मेरी दुर्योधन के अन्न मैं खा लूं,
because I was eating this food of this
जिसके
Kaurava
फलस्वरूप
people.
मेरा बुद्धि
So because of eating their food, my mind was lost, my intelligence was spoiled. Because if you eat some prasad or something, that your mind, your buddhi, your intelligence will also come accordingly.
महाप्रसाद
So, how to take Mahaprasad?
शुद्ध भक्त की महाप्रसाद लेना।
You should take the Mahaprasad of a pure devotee.
नहीं तो जैसे तैसे हेरे तेरे
Otherwise, if you take anything,
भक्त के प्रसाद ले लिया, उच्चिष्ट प्रसाद
if you take the
लिया,
Chista Prasad of any devotee,
उसी प्रकार भ्रष्ट हो
your intelligence also will be spoiled like that.
जहाँ तहाँ
Shastra
प्रसाद लेना नहीं
explained.
चाहिए।
When you should not take prasad, you have to take prasad after discrimination.
वो बहुत भक्त नहीं है,
That person is not a devotee, he's a non-devotee.
अभक्त के प्रसाद ले लिया,
If you took the prasad of a non-devotee,
उच्चिष्ट
like the remnants of a non-devotee, then your intelligence will also be like spoiled, or
विश्व पितामह
like
कहने लगे,
destroyed, like not good. So Bhishma Pitamaha told, "Hey Draupadi,
वास्तव रूप में जो है मैं ये दुर्योधन की प्रसाद, दुर्योधन के अन्न से मैं पालित हो गया
actually I took this,
है,
I was nourishing from the food of Bhishma of Duryodhan, so that's why my intelligence was lost.
मैं नहीं बोल नहीं पाया।
So that's why I couldn't say anything at that time.
केवल बस मन में
Just in my mind, I was
पिताजी की वचन को मैं रक्षा करने के लिए चिंतन करने लगा कि पिताजी को मैंने वचन दिया था,
So I was just thinking, I gave the words to my father that I would
सिंहासन में नहीं,
never sit on this throne.
कभी विवाह नहीं करूंगा,
Also that I will not never marry.
में बैठेगा
And whoever sits on the throne,
प्रतिभु मान करके सिंहासन के रक्षा
I will protect this throne. feeling that this person is the exact manifestation of my own father.
दुर्भाग्य क्यों मैं ये दुष्ट लोगों के मैं प्रसाद ग्रहण किया
So this is my unfortunate that what? That I took the prasad from these bad people. So one story, there was a Santa Mahatma saint person, very high, like very high level, and
रमता जगी
he wouldn't stay a long time, like not even more than 2 days in anyone's house. So, because the sadhus, they are always moving, just like the water. So he used to go to many pilgrimage places, and this sadhu came one day to one person's house,
संत महात्मा के
person's house, and it was like evening time.
पति पत्नी बोले देखो
So the husband and wife, they saw this man
अच्छी घर अच्छे कमरा देना चाहिए
and thought, oh, we should give him a good room to stay.
पति पत्नी ने किया कि
And the husband and wife,
कि जो है
they
अपने सबसे बढ़िया कमरा जो है
they gave the best room to the saints, to the sadhu.
अत्यंत मूल्यवान सब द्रव्य रहता
You know, this room full of expensive things and
सोनी चांदी
like full of golds and silver,
संत महात्मा
because they thought, oh, the saint will not steal, of course. So they just put him there.
कामना के दिए संत महात्मा प्रसाद खा करके रात में सोने लगे आधी रात
So
में
the sadhu, he was
महात्मा ने
sleeping
किया कि
in the middle of the night. The sadhu, he
क्या बोलते हैं तिरोज क्या बोलते हैं
sorry,
तिरोज
like he woke up and then
के खोल करके
he opened like the chest,
सामान को
where they keep the valuable things. He stole everything in the middle of the night and then he ran away. Nobody knew what.
कुछ दूर चलने के
Nobody
बाद
got to know.
मन में
But
अरे
and then after
ये क्यों नहीं लेकर के
some time he thought, oh, why am I taking all these things? And he came back to give back.
आया? होने के पहले ही
But before the sunset,
उनके घर में आकर के बोले मुझे क्षमा करें
he came to their house and told, please forgive me. These are your things.
बोले रात को आपके मैं भोजन घर के भजन कर लिया था
So he said, actually, I took prasada here. I had taken prasada here the night before, and like because these people are materialists, so that's why my mind was like contaminated, and I stole all these things. You understand? The sadhu told all this when he came back to return. So, like Mahaprabhu told this, so if you take prasad, if you eat, you should be careful. You have to see before taking prasad from the hands of someone if this person is materialist, or if this person is doing the bhajan. So whatever Mahaprabhu is saying, this is true. So he came back and returned everything, the sadhu. And then for 3 days he fasted because he had eaten something and that he was waiting for that all that go out from his body. So in the same way, Bhishma told to Draupadi, I was being like nourished, like the food I was eating was Duryodhana's food. But now, because of these arrows, all the blood has left my body. All this blood. So all my bad things went away from me, and now my heart is pure again. So that's why I'm giving these instructions. Today will not happen the Arati. Where is Tulasi? Already 7:30. Maharaj. He hasn't arrived yet. Why? Bring the Tulasi. So you should always think about that. If you think maybe you take some the uchista of someone thinking he's a Uttam Mahabhagavat, but actually maybe he's not, and actually not get bhakti, and maybe you get the opposite results even. So we have to be careful, and like this discrimination you must have. You do pranam to the prasad.
और प्रणाम करते हैं। इसलिए हमारे भक्तिमान ठाकुर क्या है?
Bhaktivinoda Thakur said,
जानी उच्छिष्ट जानी वैव है अभिमान है। मैं श्रेष्ठ हूँ इसलिए मेरा उच्छिष्ट
here's the thing, oh, I am higher, that's why I give my remnants to everyone. This will make you very proud, and then if you're proud, then you fall down. If your bhakti is not strong,
और
this will happen.
आज
Understand?
विचार दिखा
So all these conceptions are there.
भी एक बार देने करके कथा बहुत दिन
Gurudeva humbly he told
तो थे ही नहीं कोई
long time ago, I remember everything at the time you are not there. So
के प्रसाद नारायण गोस्वामी को प्रसाद सबको देना
they were giving the Narayan Goswami Mahaprasada to everyone. One day Gurudeva saw this situation and he was so angry. Hey,
प्रसाद क्यों
why are you giving this prasad?
बहुत प्रसाद है मेरे प्रसाद को सबको दे दो
Why are you giving my prasad to everyone? Give Bhagavad Prasad.
मैं पर रख दो जिसमें श्रद्धा है
Then he said, just keep it there and those who have faith, they will come to my prasad.
इसमें श्रद्धा नहीं है
Because some people, they don't have shraddha. Not everybody has faith. No,
बद्ध जीव में साधारण रूप में
the Bada Jiva, they have so much Manusha Buddhi, like, this
गुरु से नॉर्मती
thinking that the guru is a normal person.
सबके सब के समान बुद्धि नहीं
Nobody has all the same moods. If the person has, good,
नहीं है
but the one who doesn't have, so if you give by force, then the opposite result will come.
इसलिए गुरुदेव ने कहा
So Gurudev said,
है जो मेरा जो उचित रहा जाता
my uchista, my remnants which are left,
रख दो
keep in one place.
श्रद्धा है वो ले ले
Those who have shraddha, they will take.
तुम जबरदस्ती क्यों कर देते
Why are you giving by force to everyone, like giving?
हो? ये ऐसे नहीं करते
Gurudev used to say like this sometimes.
इसलिए कहते हैं
So
है, इसमें तो विचार भी दिखा गया
all these conceptions are so there.
उचित श्रद्धा ने वही वो मेरा गान अभिमान हो गया भक्तिवान ठाकुर भी कीर्तन नहीं करते
Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the Kirtan also he told,
श्रद्धा नहीं हो जबरदस्ती देंगे
if you don't have the shraddha and you take by force or somebody give you by force, what will happen?
अगर राज जान में अनजान में कहीं अमृत
But of course, also if you take knowingly or unknowingly the nectar,
है उद्धार हो जाता है
you become liberated.
विचार की कथा है
Just like the story of Ramanacharya.
रामानंद जी के उच्छिष्ट प्रसाद एक जगह में रख दिया
They kept the remnants of Ramanacharya in one place, and one snake came and ate these remnants. When the snake ate these remnants,
शरीर छोड़
the snake left its body and manifested Apsara form, like a heavenly damsel form, and went to,
जो निष्पापी
I
हो
think, Vaikuntadam, he said.
नहीं रखते
So those who don't have duplicity and hypocrisy, okay.
इसलिए इसमें तो बहुत विचार है
So many conceptions also.
है विचार करो विश्वास करिए भाई करो ये तीनों सेवन
So you have to serve this with faith.
तीन साधनेर बल এই তিন হইতে প্রেমা হয় সর্বশাস্ত্রে কারিয়া কয় বিশ্বাস করিয়া ভাই ये तीनों करह सेवन है भक्त के चरण धोती जल
So the foot bathing water of the devotee, the remnants of the devotee and the foot dust, you have to accept them with for unflinching faith.
होना चाहिए दृढ़ विश्वास नहीं तो जबरदस्ती देते रहो
Otherwise, you're giving like by forcefully, then offense might come. Jai Sri Gurudev ki jai.